Hey everybody, it's Jordan Buckles and I'm so glad that you're joining me again here. So I am going to be showing you how I go through and conceal and put on my foundation today. So the main concealer that I really love is our light concealer. So that is the lightest concealer that we have. But then we also have the white and the medium. And then we also have the deep. So you have quite a selection. And in addition to that, we also have the green concealer as well. So you have your choice of concealers. My favorite one is the light because it really matches my skin tone and it's super fantastic. However, I use a handful of the concealers each day and it just kind of depends on what I'm dealing with for that particular day. So today you can see I have a little bit of redness and some blemishes that I need to hide. So I'm actually going to start out with throwing my concealer. I'm going to start out with the green concealer, and it is a tiny amount of product that I need to use. So check that out, like the tiniest amount. So I am going to take that concealer and I'm just going to pop it on wherever I see some red blemishes or even just red skin tone. So the green concealer is basically going in and canceling out those red marks, because if you think of just like let's see, I'm trying to find a brush here. I'm just going to use a flat foundation brush. So if you think of a color wheel, if you go across from red, you are going to get green. So that is what is going to cancel out that color to make it more neutral. So with blemishes, green concealer is fantastic to help cancel that all out. Now I'm going to look a little bit crazy here for a moment because I am going to kind of turn gray with this concealer, but this is going underneath my foundation, and once I put my foundation on top, you won't even know. It'll look like I have a nice, gorgeous, flawless skin tone. I'm just grabbing a little bit more product for this baby right here. So even though our skincare is fantastic, as women, our hormones are constantly changing, and so we are going to deal with blemishes whether we like it or not sometimes, and it is completely out of our hands, which is not the answer we all want to hear, right? But the beauty of our products is that they won't clog your pores, so they're not going to make the blemishes worse. So you can really put on some makeup over top the blemishes without worrying that you are creating a bigger problem for yourself. Okay, so that's all for the green concealer. Now I am going to go in with the medium. So if you look at the medium compared to my skin tone, it has a little bit of an orangish color to it. So I'm just going to take the tiniest amount here on my ring finger, and I am going to tap that, so I just distributed it from the other ring finger to one, and I am going to distribute this product underneath my under eyes. So why do I want the medium concealer on my under eyes? Well, as you could see just a few seconds ago, I had some dark circles. So dark circles usually consist of those bluish tones, bluish and purple. And since the medium concealer has an orange undertone, it's going to help cancel that all out. So I put that medium concealer there, and I am just going to take a brush to tap that out a little bit, and I am going to let that product soak on. Okay. So that's all for the concealer right now. I'm going to go back in later and use the light and the white concealer, but before I do that, I am going to put my foundation on. So I use the Tan MakeSense Foundation. I love this foundation because it is very lightweight. It's waterproof and it's oil free, so you don't feel like you're wearing foundation. Before SeneGence, I never wore foundation because I hated the way that it felt. I didn't like to feel like I was wearing that big mask, if you will. And so I actually borrowed a foundation from one of my girlfriends, the Senegence MakeSense Foundation, just to see if maybe I liked it, and more so just to try it out. Little did I know that I was going to fall in love with it, and now I wear foundation every single day, and that is simply because this foundation is so lightweight you don't even know you're wearing it. But the beauty of it is that it has great coverage still. So I love, love, love this foundation. And another thing that I really love, you can see that this product, I'm not leaving any product behind. So we have an airless pump in our foundation, so you get every last drop of it. So here I have a Morphe brush. This is the Y7. I love this foundation brush to put it on and apply it because I feel like I get a little bit more coverage when I use a brush to apply it. So I use a stippling technique when I am applying it, and basically that just means I am patting / pressing the powder or the product into my skin, so that way I'm getting really good coverage with it. So one pump is pretty good to do your whole face. You can add a little bit more if you need a little bit extra coverage, which I might need just a little bit more at the end, but I really try to make sure I go in and wait till this product is dry until I add any product back on. So it is going to be long lasting, which, hello, who doesn't love that? So a little thing for me that is huge with our products is that I am a hairstylist. So when I am behind the chair, I get super sweaty, and back in the day I used to hate looking in the mirror at the end of the day because my face basically just slid off and sweated off. Now when I look in the mirror, I still have makeup on and I look pretty much just like when I came in the door, which is such a better experience than looking like I just want to hide my face. Okay, so check out that coverage. So everywhere where I put that green concealer is nice and covered up. You can barely even see, like this blemish, you know how red that was. You can barely even tell it's there unless I actually point it out to you. This one right here above my brow, you can't even see it. So that is amazing. Okay, so that was the foundation. Now I'm going to go in and show you what I do with my light and white concealer. So I love mixing these two products together for my under eyes to just really brighten that up. So you know I put the medium on to help cancel that out. Really quickly, I'm going to take my natural translucid loose powder. So I am going to just pump this up and down real quick, and that is going to load the product into my brush here, and it makes for a really quick, easy application. And I'm just going to put this all around my face to help set those products and absorb any of that oil. So I really like to focus on my under eyes where I put that medium concealer to help that stay in place. Then I'm going to take my light and white concealer, just a tiny drop of both of them. Little bit goes a really long way. Okay, so there is the two products together. I'm going to mix them on my fingers here. And I'm going to do one eye so you can see the difference here and see why I love using this technique on my eyes. So I am going to create almost like a triangle shape here, not taking that product all the way straight up to my eye, because I'm going to tap that in with a brush so that way I don't get that cakey appearance. So I'm just going to tap that product on. Now you can use just your fingers to blend this out. As you can see, it's doing a wonderful job. However, I love taking this brush, which is just a Real Techniques brush, and this is actually a contour brush, so it's nice and fluffy, but it's still focused. So I like to take this right on my under eye and just spread that product out and smooth out those lines. So check that out. So look at the difference between my two eyes. I have much brighter under eye over here than I do on the other side. So now I'm just going to take the rest of that product and create like that triangle shape. And just tap that product, and then I'm going to go in with my brush and just even everything out and diffuse those lines. And now it's like I had a nap. Nobody knows that I'm tired. I just brightened everything up nice and quickly. I'll go back in real quick with my powder. And I am good for the day. How gorgeous is that? The only thing that I will add after that is I'm going to go in with the blush scent. So our blush is a cream to powder product, which can seem super intimidating, but I promise you it is not at all. A little bit goes a really long way, and I'm going to show you a trick to not be afraid of the cream to powder aspect. So I really have a handful of brushes that I use for my applying my blush. So you can kind of pick any of these type of brushes here where they are nice and soft, and you can just really mix that product on your cheek and make it nice and diffused and beautiful. So you want to apply your blush to the apple of your cheek. So if you smile, you can kind of see where you want to put that. So I am going to apply it right in this area here. So the product that is actually on the outer part of the blush scent is all the product, and actually more than what I actually need for my cheeks. If I could say actually one more time, that'd be great, right? So I am going to just take the brush and I am going to tap a little bit of that product. That's it. Did you see how much of that I put on there? Like, there's still so much on this. So it's going to last you for forever and a half. Now I take my nighttime moisturizer lid and I just tap that product all around the lid to help diffuse it on the brush, and then I go in and tap it on my cheek to make a really nice bronze blush. We'll get a little bit more product and do that again. And as you can see, then you can kind of, now I just added a really pretty blush to my cheek with a little bit of product. It's long lasting and it's also anti-aging. So the cream seems a little bit intimidating, but it's really not. It just takes blending out. And a little bit, it goes a really long way. Check that out. And it just brings a little bit of color back into your cheeks after you do that concealing to make you look more natural, right? All right, ladies, that's all I've got for you. Thank you so much for joining me.